respect all builds is like a thing that comes up, and it's always like a point of talking for a lot of people. Or not even talking, it's a point of argument for a lot of people. And the respect all builds thing is not that you need to bow down and love other people's cars. It's that if somebody's put in the time and effort and they have executed something well, regardless of whether you're into that style or not, you can respect it. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Substance Podcast. I'm your host, Liam.
And I'm your other host, Matt.
And this week's episode, like we said in the previous episode, we are doing a Q&A. So basically, I made a post on Instagram on the Substance_show account. If you guys want to go follow us, we will be posting some stuff on there occasionally. And, you know, we just use it to promote the episodes. And occasionally, if we do any like Q&As or any kind of giveaways and stuff, it'll be on there. And I actually am giving away shirts from the previous episode at the end of this episode. So if you want to find out if you won a shirt, I think I said I was going to pick 2 people. It'll be at the end of this episode. But yeah, we are going to do a Q&A, and you guys have put out a bunch of questions for us. Hopefully some good questions that will stimulate our brains and not just really dumb stuff.
We really enjoy stimulation. I'm so sorry. That was so unnecessary.
I'm sure there's going to be some really stupid questions in there because, you know, there always is. Like, anytime you put stuff out to people, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to take advantage and try and be funny. And like half of the time they're just not funny. But if there are ones that are funny, then we'll make light of them.
I'm gonna try and be funny in Liam's DMs where nobody's ever gonna see me trying to be funny, and he's clearly just gonna be like, goodbye.
Yeah. No, it's like whenever you do those question things on your story, and like you have to type in your question in the box, and then like nobody sees it unless I choose to post it. People will be sending some of the dumbest shit in there sometimes when I do that, and it's like, why?
That's what I mean, dude. I just don't.
I'm in control here. Yeah. Like, nobody's going to see that. I mean, unless it's actually...
Stupid. You're all stupid.
Are you stupid? No.
Stupid.
Not at all, but before we do that, what's going on, Matt? How have you been?
Fuck, man. Well, I'm going to give my little... This is not even a disclaimer. It's more of an apology in advance. I'm going to try and not, like, rip headphone users with me coughing. I had COVID last week. I am still alive. Super grateful for that. It honestly...
You just had you had COVID light, right?
Yeah. That's what I call Omicron, is COVID light, because very lucky for all of us who have had Omicron. I don't really give a shit where anybody stands about vaccinations or anything. We all lucked the fuck out if the first time we had COVID was Omicron, because it's pretty mild, and we did not have to deal with a lot of the stuff that that had OG and Delta had to deal with.
I was going to say, I've had OG COVID twice, and the first time it fucked me up really bad. The second time I didn't get anything.
Hold up. You got it twice? I thought the first time that... Oh, Mason Gavin's calling me. Hi, Mason.
Damn, I wish he was on the... Do you want to connect? Oh, I was going to say, if you connected to the Bluetooth, we could just, like, answer the phone. What does Mason want?
Should I like text and be like, "Hey, do you want to be on the podcast for like 5 minutes?"
No. Just put him on the spot. Like, connect to the Bluetooth on this, and then just call him back.
Okay.
Here, let me disconnect my phone.
Well, but I don't. No, because then I'm gonna be like, "What do you want to talk about?"
No, just be like, "Welcome to Substance Podcast."
No.
Okay.
Let's do it. So I had COVID, and I was very lucky in that. It was not terrible. It was not good. It was not fun, and it felt like shit. But I've heard that, you know, other people, even with Omicron, have had worse symptoms than I had. The last couple of days have been some, like, weirdness with breathing, but it's just, because of, like, congestion that's left over, but also I started my new job, and super stoked about that. But it is like just by nature, it is a physical job, and it's almost like exercising for the entire job. So
you're a little bit close to the mic.
Doing.
Man, he's calling me.
Oh, now you got to set it up.
Now I actually have to.
Now you got to set it up.
Yeah.
I hope it's not like urgent.
I don't know. Hello, you are live on the air on Substance Podcast. How can I help you? Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on.
I can't even hear it.
Hi, Mason. You are on Substance Podcast. How can I help you?
You literally are, though. So this better not be like, I'm dying. I need help.
No wonder Matt didn't answer my phone call.
Well, I tried to get him to connect to the Bluetooth, and he was like, no.
Well, no, I was too late.
Yeah, and then you tried to call me, so I was like, you know what? We're just going to put him on the spot. So what's going on?
Hey, y'all. Long time listener, first time caller. Hey, no, I was actually, I was going to see if one of you guys were available because I got to run 2 vehicles down to my shop and drop one off. And I was going to get one of you guys to drive one of my vehicles. But
You're talking about tonight?
yeah, like pretty soon. I know it's literally last second. I was just.
I mean, if we weren't.
We are 5 minutes, 25 seconds into this podcast. So if you give us, I guess, an hour or so, then yes, we can be available.
I mean, I probably can.
Okay. Well,
I need to run to my storage unit
This
anyway
is
to
literally
drop off
on
some
the
parts.
podcast.
I need to run to my storage unit to drop off parts and pick up my seats that are going in the E36.
okay.
And then I need to drop off the E36, the seats, and a bunch of other parts that I'm installing on it at shop.
Okay.
And then bring tires back home in my truck. So I just need one of y'all to drive my truck.
Have you tried calling Ben? Because I believe Ben is on the couch right now.
Ben is free, I'm pretty sure.
Ben may be more available than we are, but we could be free in like an hour or so.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll give him a shout. I'll give him a shout. But either way, I got to run to my storage unit, and it's going to take a minute. And then if you guys are done, maybe I'll just come there and then grab one of whoever's free, and I can bring you back later.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Cool. Okay.
Appreciate you for calling in.
Yeah, thanks for letting me be on. You guys are.
There you go. I'm literally gonna title the episode Mason. This is Mason Gavin's episode. He's on it for 30 seconds. It was great to have you on. I'm glad we talked about Riverside and all the important things. Okay, love you. Bye.
Yeah. This was very emotional. Hey, but I do want to be on soon. We need to chit chat about stuff.
I know.
We need to get the other mic.
I need to get another microphone. So for anybody that's listening right now, if you guys want to go buy Substance shirts so that I can like pay off some debt, I need to throw another microphone on the credit card because we can't do proper guests with both me and Matt unless we have another mic set up. So yeah, guys, go support the podcast. Thank you.
Yeah, do that. Or I could just get some like AirPods and Bluetooth to the thing. I think it'll work.
No, this doesn't sound as good as it should. So
all right,
but
well, cool. Yeah, we can talk about Riverside or car shows or whatever. But I'd rather just talk about like I don't know anything else.
Anything else? Damn.
Yeah, we have Mason Gavin on the show today. We're gonna talk about blackjack and poker.
Yep.
All right, Mason. Cool. Well, we'll talk to you in a little bit.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
All right, great way to start off the episode.
Oh my God.
So yeah, as we were saying, Matt had COVID last week, and funnily enough, Matt was supposed to be coming with me to Memphis over the weekend to go to Stupid Cold,
and then I got COVID.
He got COVID, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit. If I have COVID, like I can't go. I've got money I've spent on being a vendor and having a hotel and all of this stuff. And I'm like, if I have COVID, I'm screwed. And so I took a test every single day and just avoided Matt. And amazingly, negative, every single one. And so I went to Memphis for Stupid Cold over the past weekend. And I wish that I had COVID and I was stuck at home. Dead ass. I wish that I was sick and stuck at home.
Dude, it was rough, man. Like I saw Liam posted probably 3 things like at the actual show. He posted a photo on Instagram and he posted like 2 stories. And I saw the photo before I saw the story. This man was wearing gray. The photo was gray because the weather was shit and cold. And then the story was him basically showing like all of his shirts. And they were all soaking fucking wet. And all of his tables are soaking wet, and he's just like, I love this. Y'all come through. Y'all come grab some merch. And he's got like fucking water all over his shelving and everything. I was like, oh no.
So I had decided that I'm not vendoring shows anymore before this, right? There's too much uncertainty with me being a vendor at shows where it's like my whole purpose in my brand when I started it was that it's a media company. And I have gone way too far from that to where I'm running everything else and like I'm not putting in the effort that I would like to with making videos and shooting good content. And so I'm like, all right, you know, I'm going to stop vendoring shows and I'm just going to do online sales. I'm switching to a new business model where we do, you know, a new drop at the end of every month, and we just use the whole month building up to it with samples to do promo stuff. And so I wasn't going to vendor stupid cold. When I spoke to Matt after you got your job and you knew what your schedule was like, I was like, yo, you should come to stupid cold with me. We'll just like film some cool content. Well, after I thought about it, I was like, well, I have a lot of inventory right now, and I'm planning to do a drop at the end of January. And if I don't move all of this inventory, I'm going to completely screw myself. And so I was like, all right, I should probably be a vendor, but if I can get Matt and Benny to come with, we can still film some content.
I felt so, dude. And he obviously like doesn't want me to. He's told me multiple times, but I felt so shitty, dude.
No,
I felt so bad.
It's all
especially
good.
Especially when I saw the gray fucking I was like, oh no.
Nah, it's all good. And it's just like last second, I was like, all right, yeah, whatever. I'm going to vendor stupid cold because I need to move some of this inventory out. Like I can't be sitting on all of this stuff. And unfortunately, like the majority of it is t-shirts, which is not ideal for winter sales. So yeah, I go to stupid cold, and you know, it's in the fucking name. It's called stupid cold. Like it's gonna be cold. I know that.
I knew that going in.
I didn't realize it was gonna rain sideways the entire day.
I was cold, not stupid cold and rainy.
It's stupid wet, and like I saw that we were gonna get snow over Saturday night. They didn't say anything about fucking rain. I guess I didn't check it on the day of. I was just like, nah, it's whatever. It was dry when I got there in the morning. So I set everything up. And I was on my own. Thankfully, my friend Dustin, shout out. Dustin has cars now on Instagram. It's not Dustin has car because he bought another car.
Yeah, it has a car is what it used to be.
Yeah, it's now cars because he has multiple. But shout out to Dustin for literally driving all the way from Knoxville out to Memphis to come and just give me a hand with some stuff. I could have done it on my own, but he seriously like aided in making it less shit.
What a guy.
But yeah, I set everything up and then it just starts pouring rain. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, it'll pass. And it did not. It rained sideways the entire day. Within an hour, there was a river running through my booth to where there was nowhere I could stand where I would have dry feet. And so my Vans are soaked through. I've got 3 pairs of socks on to try and stay warm. I have a down jacket. I got a really nice North Face down jacket that I wore all day that actually kept me warm. And my hands got a little bit cold at certain points, but like it was fine. It's just my toes. Did not feel.
No, that'll ruin.
That's
your
what I'm saying.
Day,
like
dude.
I could be
feet will ruin your.
I could be
day.
butt ass naked with like my feet on
feet
fire.
cold,
Yeah, you're good. But no, it was horrible. I didn't feel my toes for like 8 hours straight. And to top all of it off, I sold like nothing. I literally spent a bunch of money to be there and just suffer in the cold weather for 12 hours.
By himself, without
pretty
us.
much by myself. And obviously didn't really get any content out of it. Like, didn't achieve anything. And so, yes, was not fun. And that's no slight towards Slam Enough or anything. Like, this event is very hit or miss every year. And usually there is a really good turnout, but it seemed like this year just nobody came. Like, the drifting looked like it was sick. There was a bunch of really good drift cars. They looked like they were having fun. Thank God somebody was. But the car show had like 20 cars, and nobody was there. I had shout out to the few people that came up and bought stuff, but oh my, it was like, this felt like an all-time low for me because I was like, I didn't want to do this anyway. I just had to.
It's like super extra shout out to the people that bought something because they
absolutely.
gave that like little reason that you're like, well, at least that fucking something happened.
Yeah, like I think I got enough money to like cover the hotel. I didn't quite get enough to like cover the gas, and thankfully Slam Enough refunded the booth spot, which is incredible. Thank you so much, Charlene, for doing that. But yeah, not the best weekend, but you live and you learn, and that's just kind of how it goes with business. And that's part of why I don't want to vendor shows is because it's not worth the risk when I could go and make really, really good videos and kind of guarantee that I'm going to get online sales. So, yeah, that was my weekend experience. And, Matt was at home with COVID and thankfully is good now.
Yes. Well, wait, I already apologized for the coughing, right?
Yeah, you already said if you're going to cough, then
yeah, I'm going to try and like YouTube people that are listening can't see this, but the YouTube people, yes, I am yawning like every 5 seconds. And I'm going to like cover my face so you don't have to see like my ugly yawning face, but I'm so sorry. I just my body is still like, give me more air, please.
Oh, I know.
So.
Well, it's interesting because like when I got to Memphis, I started feeling a little sick and I was stressing. I was like, no, as if I just went all of this way and like, it turns out I'm going to have COVID. I tested again. Like I said, I tested every single morning and I don't have COVID. And so I guess that I'm just like picking up a cold, but it seems to be almost past because I've had like a little bit of a scratchy throat. I've been getting bad headaches, but that's kind of a normal thing for me pretty often.
I was going to say, he has headaches all the time.
Too much editing. That's what it is. But
listening to the same song, the same 5 seconds of the same song.
No, it's listening
over and over again.
It's listening
for 4
to
hours.
this. It's listening to us talk, and I'm like, ugh. I hate this podcast.
My voice will do that to you.
Not at all. But no, it's funny. Like the past 2 days, I've had this ulcer on my tongue to where yesterday we picked up on it. I had a lisp.
It stopped at the wrong time. Like he was like, bro, I'm going to have this on the episode. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
I thought it was going to be so funny. I was low-key enjoying that I just had a lisp and I couldn't help it.
He was just like experiencing talking.
I feel like I just unlocked a new character and I wanted to be more British because it just sounds so like, I don't know. I sounded really like innocent with a lisp.
Well,
I was rather enjoying
you were like
it.
doing the Birmingham accent because you had a lisp. And
Birmingham.
I wanna be inclusive here. All our friends out there that legitimately have lisps right now, we're laughing with you, not at you. It's just like some people get bullied for that shit, and that's really fucked up.
Of course.
That's obviously not what we're doing. I just want to clarify something.
No, of course. But I honestly quite enjoyed the experience. I'd have a lisp again. It was all right. I was low key like excited to just have it on the podcast, and people would be like, "Why does Liam sound like that?" Like I didn't want to address it at all, and people were like, "Why does Liam sound a little off or something?" But no, it disappeared, and I'm kind of back to normal. So. Oh, how boring. But yeah, like I said, we are going to do a Q&A episode.
Jump right into it.
And so,
now that we've had a phone call with Mason.
Yeah. I'm just going to clickbait this episode. This is the Riverside episode because Mason was in it
don't
for 2
do
seconds.
that.
I'm just kidding. I would never do that. This is not something that I want to do that with because
no,
this podcast is important.
To put a little bit of face to that call, though, I don't know who of you follows Mason, but he has it's silver, right? The E36?
E36, yeah.
He has a Japan market right-hand drive E36, and it is clean as a whistle.
It is pretty cool. I actually went and borrowed it. Was it last week? Yeah, I think it was. It was Wednesday of last week. I went and borrowed it with Zach from Misguided Media just so that we could shoot some like product stuff for each other. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be weird me getting back into a right-hand drive car in the US, like after a couple of years of not driving one. And it felt right at home. It was honestly quite relaxing. So I was like big
relaxing, huh?
Yeah, dude, it was just chill to be on the right side of the car.
It felt like home.
It did.
It felt like home today.
It did. I mean, it's an automatic. It would have been nicer if it was a manual, but no, really, really nice car. It's a Japan. It's a
Japanese.
It's a Japan market E36, and it actually has the BMW Japan sticker on the back, like bottom of the window, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's basically stock. I think
honest,
it's an M-Tech car too.
I didn't even know that like that was a thing, like Japan market. Like I don't know why I didn't know that, but like for some reason, I thought that like all Mercedes and BMWs like in
just
Japan
left-hand drive.
Yeah, just left-hand drive, just because that's all they had.
No,
so that's pretty cool.
Because in the UK, they're right-hand drive as well. Which
I guess
talking
actually makes
of
sense. So.
The reason I was like enjoying driving Masons is because the next time that I go back to the UK, I am taking extra cash with me because I want to go buy an E36 Touring, like any condition one that's just right-hand drive, ship it back over to the US and do some really ignorant shit with it. So, yeah, fun fact.
Very nice.
E36 wagon.
It's going to be mint, bruv.
Yeah, it's going to be nice. But,
damn,
right.
We are fucking on one in this fucking episode.
Questions. There are quite a lot on here.
Damn, no kidding.
And big paragraphs too. So shout out to you guys for actually like engaging with this and wanting to get involved. I hope that you've been enjoying the podcast, and if you are, please go give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you want to post a comment, you can post it on the Instagram or in the YouTube comment section.
And just a quick reminder, we're being totally serious when we say, like, we want to hear what you guys are thinking. We want to hear, like, what you'd like to see episodes about. Obviously, there's no promises that we'll make it, but we still want to hear it because for sure we're going to make, if it's good enough, Lord knows it'll be a lot easier than us sitting at dinner, like, agonizing, we've already done this.
Right.
Do this? So,
and I will say that there are a couple comments on here on this post that were questions on things that we'd already covered. I'm not sure if those people maybe just hadn't listened to some of the episodes. But if you guys are going to get engaged with any of this stuff where it's Q&As or whatever, maybe listen to all of the episodes first, just so that if there is something that you're curious about, we may have already covered it. But yeah, let's, I don't even know where to start because there's some really good questions on here, and there's a lot of just big paragraphs. I'm like, oh shit. Let's see. Okay, let's just start right here. So Ruined50 at Ruined50 said, what is your guys' favorite and hated aftermarket car trends throughout the years in the car/truck scene? So favorite and hated.
I'm going to let you lead off on that one, honestly.
Favorite car trends. I don't know if I could list off just like my favorite. I feel like for me to pick a favorite on something, I need to have that well thought out beforehand and like plan what my favorite is. But I can definitely name off some trends that I think are like my favorites. I don't know if I could pinpoint one that's like my top, but I'll say back in the day, when I lived in the UK and I was like more involved with the Volkswagen scene, I really enjoyed that every year for Wörthersee, there were always quite a few cars that had like candy bar liveries on them. It was like a really like common weird thing for a little bit, and I just thought it was cool. I think a lot of people think it's corny, and like some people have done this in like the Donk scene too, and some of them look really good, some of them look really bad.
Some of those Donk cars are fucking.
But like. There was, I can't remember what, it might have been a Volkswagen Polo as a Golf or something, that had, if you guys are familiar with like the candy company, Kinder, they make like the Kinder Buenos and like all of those really, really, dude, they're delicious. I grew up on Kinder Buenos, but it had this livery that was, I don't know if it was an air suspension company, but it said like Kinder Air in like the same font or whatever on the side. And I just thought it was cool. It wasn't anything crazy. It's just little things that I hadn't seen people do before. So I like when I see weird trends like that first start, but like as soon as they catch on and go like big, they always suck. It's like how
people ruin it. Basically.
Yeah, it's like how the Marlboro livery was. Yeah. Like the first few people that did it was like, oh, that's really cool. I really like that, and then everybody does it, and it progressively gets shit.
I was gonna say
people just do really bad versions.
I was gonna say that's when it gets hilarious to me is when like that happens where somebody does something and like the first few people that are doing it is like some degree of innovation. And then people just start like fucking throwing curveballs at it, trying to like you said, make a new version. You're just like, please stop.
Nope.
Please stop it right now.
But yeah, no, I quite enjoyed that. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite trend, but it's a cool trend that just popped into my head. And then least favorite. I mean, I got a lot of things that are definitely like my least favorite.
We can make a whole episode on it.
But he did say car/truck scene, so I'm just gonna dive into the truck scene and say that squatted trucks are literally like the worst thing ever.
I had this really meta moment, like this was weeks ago now, but I was driving by, and it was a piece of shit, even aside from the fact that it was squatted. But like, it was like I don't even know how this man saw the road. Like, it was unbelievably squatted. And I'm, like, driving by, and I can feel myself looking at the truck and just shaking my head like, what a fucking idiot.
And meanwhile, he's looking at you, looking at him, and he's like, yeah, dude.
Well, see, there's that. But then the other thing is like, wait a fucking minute. This is how people look at us with our stance cars.
Exactly.
It's the same thing to them.
I have literally had that same epiphany where I'm like, squatted trucks are fucking awful, and people are so like loud about their opinions on squatted trucks. And then I'm like, well, hold on. Stance cars are actually also
really
awful.
Really
they are
stupid.
like a lot of them are fucking awful. And so I'm like, man, but can we group everybody together? Is there a subculture of squatted trucks that are built correctly? Just like there is a subculture of stance cars that are built correctly.
I don't
you don't
care.
think so?
I don't care how correctly you build it. Squatted trucks. I mean, like, so I went down like a very petite rabbit hole.
I agree. I don't care about the style, but it begs the question. It's possible
somebody could execute that very well, but it's still squat. But listen, I went down a little tiny squatted truck rabbit hole one time. Mm-hmm. Apparently, and so like it doesn't make any sense that it's called like the Carolina squat. At least some people call it that. I don't know if you've heard that. But like,
not anymore. It's banned.
What do you mean it's banned? What's banned?
It's illegal.
Squatting? Oh,
the squatted truck
I'm
shit?
fucking surprised it took that long.
Oh, I know.
No, so it's called Carolina squat, right? Yeah. And so I went on Google. I was like, why do they call it Carolina? Like, what is Carolina about it?
Yeah.
And it turns out that trend, allegedly, that trend started with people that saw, like, on Baja trucks, when they come down off a jump, because you know Baja.
Yeah.
So, like, the whole ass end is, like, about to scrape the ground before it rebounds.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's, like, the aesthetic inspiration for squatted trucks. It's like Baja trucks landing from a jump, and some asshole thought it was just super cool to, like, freeze frame that. I'm going to make my truck look like that, but all the time.
You know what?
I just yelled. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I am going to say something that is definitely my opinion, but I think they decided that after the fact.
Oh, I mean, you're probably right, honestly.
I think they just made some, like, silly decisions on their truck,
and
then after the fact tried to find a way to justify it. There was somebody who was just slightly smart enough that was like, damn, we got to find some kind of an answer
fucking
for this.
Baja
they
trucks.
looked at every vehicle that, like, squats in the rear and then saw a video of a Baja truck land a jump one time and was like, that's it. That's the inspiration.
They got my ass, but even still, it's all, I mean, I just, dude. Squat. Here's the thing, right? And people like talk about like stance. Well, they're not safe. This and that. First of all, you're wrong. If they're done right.
Trust me. Yeah, there are right and wrong ways to do everything.
Squatted trucks are by their very nature unsafe. Like you are going from like 100% visibility to like
sky.
Fucking I don't know, like 20, 30 maybe.
Yeah.
Like it's hard when you're in a lifted truck, right? It's fucking hard enough.
Yeah, visibility's bad enough.
Yeah, it's fucking hard enough to have like really, really good situational awareness because you have so many blind spots when you go past the fenders and shit.
Right.
So can you imagine taking that already lack and then just pointing it at the fucking sky? Like,
it's wild.
I don't. So I guess there's your answer for me as one of the things that is one of my least favorite trends.
So Dr_Q50, which I actually think that this is quite a good question, and I know like a lot of people might be curious, and you may not even be familiar with what we're going to talk about. But how do you guys feel about GMR and their vintage series wheels that they're releasing? I don't know if you're familiar at all.
Okay, so I remember the first time I ever really like noticed them.
What, GMR specifically, or the
GMR?
Okay,
yeah. I was walking in downtown Chat with Tywin and Al. Mm-hmm. Those are our friends in Michigan. Mm-hmm. Shout out Ty and Al. And Ty was like, ugh. I was like, what? This doesn't look that bad. And he's like, yeah, but they're GMRs. I'm like, the fuck is a GMR? I don't know what that is. He's like, man, they just like, they're like reps, but they're not. But they're like, and so that was kind of like, I don't know, that he said that, and I was like looking at him. I don't know, man. My simple ass was like, I mean, they look good.
Yeah.
But You seem, with stuff like this, you seem to know a lot more about like the companies and like where they're at, you know, ethically or otherwise. I do not. So to me, they just are just like, they seem like higher tier
reps.
Like I kind of like Kansai maybe, but
okay. So I can speak on what I know about GMR. So GMR as a company is actually VR Wheels, and VR Wheels is a three-piece wheel reseller. Not three-piece the company; they're not affiliated, but they're a company that imports wheels from Japan, rebuilds them, refinishes them, resells them, blah blah blah. And so they started their own wheel company, GMR, which, in my eyes, is actually really really smart of them because
fucking Colby, dude, because they can, you know, they can hear that.
Yeah, somebody just cold started down the street. So
he likes to do it at 6 a.m. too. It's awesome. As
a company, they keep a lot of lips and barrels in stock for rebuilding three-piece wheels that come over from Japan. And so it's smart for them to start their own wheel company because they can pretty much turn shit around really, really quick. They have an advantage over a lot of these other wheel companies that are truly like bespoke wheels because they have to, you know, cut the faces, blah, 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 like every company does, but they have to wait for lips and barrels in specific sizes to come in from their suppliers. VR Wheels or GMR Wheels doesn't have to do that because they keep so much in stock because they rebuild other wheels. And are you going to ask why they would make a wheel company? Doesn't that undercut their sales from three-piece wheels?
I'm trying to get clarity. So, like, GMR makes, like, their own wheels, right? Like, listening to you, it's making it sound they're, like, whatever.
VR Wheels and GMR Wheels are essentially like sister companies, as far as I know. VR Wheels is the one that they import wheels from Japan and they rebuild them and they resell them, right? Mm-hmm. GMR Wheels is their own wheel company where they design and make wheels. But because they're together and because VR Wheels already keeps so many lips and barrels in stock, it's really, really efficient for them to build wheels because, you know, from my experience with working with other companies, and a lot of people can relate to this too, when you order custom wheels, you know, the faces or whatever can be cut within like a month or 2 months, but then you can end up waiting for lips and barrels forever, especially right now with how, you know, material supplies are. They already have a lot of that stuff in stock. So I imagine if you go and order a three-piece wheel through GMR, they could have it built within a month because they already have everything in stock to make it.
Yeah.
And so they've really like been smart with where they're at in the market in terms of that because they can just jump in there, get stuff out really, really quick, which in today's day and age is what a lot of kids want. And because they're doing that and they don't have to wait around forever, they can cut down their costs because they know that they're going to move more volume. So they can, you know, they can sell more wheels at less of a price because they don't have to wait around like some of these other companies do. And that's just as much as I know on GMR as a company.
I keep doing that. Like, from Liam's perspective, he's just seeing me like, it looks like I'm going to tell him a secret, but my fucking mouth is wide open.
Every time Matt goes to yawn, he's like covering his mouth. It looks like he's about to whisper something to me. But no, as a company, I know that's, or at least that's how I perceive it, is that they're able to get stuff in and out pretty quick and cut down some of the costs on that. As far as like quality and reputation, I know that they've caught a bit of a bad rep with a lot of people because a lot of their designs are straight up like replicas of other designs.
Yeah, which, so that's why I assume
this is why I brought up like the undercutting thing, is because you'd think if they already have a company where they resell wheels from Japan, why would they want to replicate those exact same designs? Is that not going to hurt their sales for that?
No, because if they sell it at a cheaper price point, people are going to fucking buy that as opposed to the other wheel.
Well, I don't know that it's it's more expensive because it's a brand new wheel, but it's cheaper than maybe going to some of these other companies. But yeah,
this is driving me insane.
But yeah, they have some unique designs. And I've seen some of their stuff that I think is okay. And I can't comment on what the quality is like because I don't know. I would assume that they are fully forged. I know that their lips and barrels are somewhat decent because I've gotten barrels from VR before, and if they're the same ones, I know that they're solid. But yeah, I can't really comment on the rest of it. I just know that they have somewhat of a reputation for just copying designs, and then specifically what this comment was talking about was their vintage line, which I believe the majority of them are just replicas of old wheels, which in some cases, if they're wheels that are discontinued, no longer available, I'm kind of like on edge about like, well, you know, if they change it up a little bit, maybe it's like, okay. Like it's still, if they're still making a good quality wheel and they're finding a way to provide what people want, then kind of more power to them. But at the same time, I don't like that it takes away the exclusivity of being able to get like a rare wheel. It's like the Blitz 03 thing. Like Blitz 03s are such a rarity now, and everybody fucking wants to charge out the ass for them.
Yeah.
And like if another company just decides they want to take that blueprint and just make that wheel, it takes away how special the Blitz 03 is. Because then all the kids will be like, oh, it's a Blitz 03 when it's actually a GMR fucking heritage, whatever the fuck. So I don't know. It's a thing with gray areas for me, but I think...
Yeah, I mean, based on like what you're saying, I mean, it's kind of, I feel like we're both kind of sitting where we've always been with that kind of stuff.
It's like, I don't hate it, but also like...
It doesn't sit right, you know?
It's not my favorite thing.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, honestly, I need a set of daily wheels for the LS, and I've thought about building another set of wheels. I mean, if GMR would cut me amazing costs and it was just simple finishes, I would probably do it because it's daily wheels.
Yeah.
Like I don't... You know, if I'm going to build a full like show set of wheels, I'm probably not going to go through them. But if I need something quick and easy in the exact specs that I need, you know, they're an option there. You know,
I mean, it depends on the person, man.
Yeah, but of course, there's a lot of people that turn their noses up at GMR wheels, and that's just is what it is. I don't hate them, I don't love them. So that's on that. Ruined FA1 said thoughts on donk culture.
Donk? Okay. My, like, knee-jerk is donk is fucking cool. Because it is. But I should, like, zero that into, like, well-executed donk. Like, these donk cars that have, like, lowrider level of, like, attention to detail.
Mm-hmm. So
donks are fucking cool. But in that, just because you set a car up as a donk car does not mean that it's cool. Like, some of them look like steaming piles of shit.
I believe I've been corrected on this before, but the term donk actually only refers to a specific generation. And so I believe that donks are only like the square body Chevys of like a specific generation. All of the newer cars, like a car with massive wheels on it, is technically not a donk, apparently.
But what is it called, though?
I couldn't tell you. But if we're gonna, if that is
That's
true,
interesting.
If that is true, then I'm gonna say that donks are cool because all of those generations that they're talking about, like the square body Chevys, I couldn't name a Caprice. Is it Caprice? Fuck,
the G bodies. I don't.
G-body? I could
it's
not.
Like Grand Nat. I don't fucking know.
I couldn't name these. We're
like
not
that.
experts on these, but in my opinion, if you can tuck a 30-inch wheel, got my respect. You got my respect.
I just like it's so. I don't remember. Unfortunately, I don't remember the dude's name, but like he's been in like 3 this or that episodes. He's got the fucking. Bro, I wish I knew American cars, y'all. I just really don't in general. But like, he has a donk. I'm just gonna call it donk because I don't know what the fuck else to call it.
Right.
But he has a donk car that makes like, it's like.
Oh, dude.
Some obscene amount of horsepower.
Donk racing is one of the coolest things ever,
I think that's kind of what my brain is like visualizing when I hear that. Is it's like seeing a donk like on the road. Like if it's cool and it's like well put together, like I'll be like, oh fuck, that's cool.
Yeah.
But well, like watching donk racing and like donk drag racing is fucking crazy.
Bro, 1,000 horsepower on rubber bands is fucking sick.
They still grab though. Yeah. That's the craziest part is they'll still fucking grab.
I think it's how it is with any kind of like subculture related to cars. Is there's good ways to do things and bad ways to do things. It's the same thing with stance. There's a lot of people that will turn their nose up to stance cars. It's like, oh, Camber is stupid, blah blah blah. But there's obviously right ways to do things and wrong ways, and we cannot judge the entire group based on the worst one.
Right.
And so there is a lot of donks. I don't know whether they're actually considered donks or not. But
somebody tell us what the actual word is
but
if it's not donk.
There is a lot of like, it's always the newer model cars that they just like slap the biggest wheels on, and they do the worst job of like trimming the arches to fit these wheels. Like I've seen like a 350Z with like 28s on it, and it's just like, dude, why is there 3 arches in one arch? Like you trimmed so much out, it goes like out a little bit and out up a bunch, and it just
as per
awful.
usual. Japan like got a hold of like the shit that we do over here, and started working with.
I'm sure there's some really badass donks in Japan.
I have seen some fucking crazy donks. There's like the one I saw the other day was a Lexus RX 350, like one of the old really ugly body styles.
Oh god.
On like 32s.
Oh god.
And it was yellow. And your face is like wraps it up, but
Does
it was
look bad.
It was so well done. I fucked with it.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, that's the thing though. If things are executed well, they can look good. It doesn't matter, you know. I think that's the thing that comes across, which I don't think anybody asked a question about this, but respect all builds is like a thing that comes up, and it's always like a point of talking for a lot of people. Not even talking, it's a point of argument for a lot of people. And the respect all builds thing is not that you need to bow down and love other people's cars. It's if somebody's put in the time and effort and they have executed something well, regardless of whether you're into that style or not, you can respect it. And that is very much what I see in donk stuff, is that like some of those cars, it is not my style. They're way too flashy. I would never drive it. Mm-hmm. Some of them I would drive, but some of them are just too much. And it's like, all right, I see what you did. It's executed very well. It's not for me, but I respect it. Yeah. That's what respect all builds mean. I just wanted to put that out there because we haven't talked about that on this podcast. And so many people on the internet want to be bitching and crying about respect all builds, thinking everybody just needs to like suck each other's dicks. That's not it at all.
I will say though, that has like, that has like different flavors, at least in my head, right? At least how people use it. Because there are so many people that use that like phrase as just like a euphemism for like accept mediocrity.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Like, which I completely disagree with that.
You know what I mean? And it's just so
that phrase is not supposed to be a band-aid to allow people to get away with garbage. It is supposed to be hey, if you're not into that style, but somebody did it well, respect it. That's all it is. It's just showing mutual respect for people that have the same passion as you. They just have a different vision. It is not hey, Mikey over here fucking has fucked up quarter panels. You should love his car as much as the really clean one next to it. No, that's not the case at all. If somebody is lazy and they put in a really shit job of building their car, then no, they don't earn the same respect as other people. It's just there's a baseline level of respect for things that are executed well. So I'm glad we touched on that because I don't know why I hadn't thought of touching on that before, but that is a good little tidbit. So tgauster.photo, shout out. He said, is the car market going to crash, or is this the new normal where older JDM/American/Euro cars are just going to be worth more as new cars get more boring?
Unfortunately for us, I think it's just going to get worse. So people can argue all they want, but like, unfortunately, electric cars are the future.
Which I want to go into EVs too much because I know there's a couple questions about it.
So
we'll get to
it. But the point is, because we're going in that direction and ultimately the gasoline engine is going to be slowly phased out, of course, the price is going to go up on desired gasoline engine cars. And the thing about like with JDM stuff in particular is like, and this is something that I'm going to discuss with somebody in another episode that is probably actually just going to be me and that guest, but is about like just how absolutely absurd the market for like especially older JDM cars are now, and it's like it's so supply and demand. I get it, but like everybody that is in to like oldish Japanese cars is getting screwed right now because like
some people are winning because they already own the platforms.
Well, right, but the people that want it don't currently have it. Are getting screwed right now because, like in my own case, let's say that I was not perpetually broke and I had, by now been able to save up like 60 grand and I wanted an NSX. You can't.
Yeah.
Like
it's a lot more difficult.
Even like a year ago, 2 years ago, that would have been at least more in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Now you just can't. And it's just like it has happened so fast.
Yeah. So, okay, my take on this is that right now the way that the like used car market is obviously
COVID also fucked that up.
Is related to the fact that the supply chain for stuff is absolutely screwed, and so new vehicles don't have the electronic chips that they need, and so a lot of them are just sitting around, and that forces the prices of used cars to go up because there's no new cars. I think that is going to crash. It's going to crash pretty soon, probably within the next 6 months. I think if they get caught up on the supply stuff, then, we'll see an improvement on that. But like you said, with how the market is going and us getting more into EVs and less fun cars, I think that a lot more of these desirable enthusiast cars are going to go up in price. And, it's unfortunate and it kind of sucks, but at the same time, this is a big part of, everything that we're involved with and we love has started to become kind of gentrified because it's becoming mainstream. It's becoming cool.
I don't think gentrified is the word you want to use.
That definitely is not the word, is it?
It's like...
What is the word that I'm thinking of? Well,
I can't remember either, but it's not gentrified. No. Y'all get it, but it's not.
It's just become like a popular mainstream thing. Like we're seeing like JDM cars.
Popularized.
Yeah. Just like being an enthusiast... Oh, Mason just popped his head in the door. Hey, Mason.
Hi, Mason.
You're fine.
No, you're okay.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Bye.
I'll take a bid, bye.
Damn, he fucking shows up twice on this episode.
Once on the phone, once in person.
No, I think that it's being an enthusiast, being a car guy is becoming more of a trend thanks to how big like social media is, and like all these JDM cars and stuff are popping up in music videos and shit now, where it's becoming more of a trend, and so the demand is just going up, and it sucks, and it is what it is, and that's why I don't get that bothered about it, because a lot of the cars that I like aren't going up in value because I like weird cars. But I totally get why it's like a frustrating thing for sure.
Well, and honestly though, it's frustrating, especially for like our generation of car enthusiasts, if we're being honest, because as per usual with like the most recent generations of people, there are more like technical... God, I can't talk today. Technological. I almost had tapped the table again. I am all over the place right now. I am so sorry. Okay. As is the case with a lot of the like millennials, what the fuck ever, right? All of the technological advancements that have happened in our generation have been like leaps and bounds. Like the generations before us have been like, the advancements haven't been that. So the point is, this generation of like car enthusiasts, that was never on the horizon before. For anybody else. There was not this like incoming like overtake of EV. Or even like hybrid shit.
Everything that we know right now is about to get left behind.
So it's getting like phased out. No other like generations of car enthusiasts like had that lurking on the horizon. It was just kind of like, all right, well, cars run on gasoline or diesel engines, and that's just how it is, and that's probably how it'll always be. So this is something that only recent generations of car people
are experiencing.
Like
having to very much right now
with no choice in the matter. Where obviously all car people are having to face that reality, but
Or will be.
Yeah, but like my point is the people that are just getting into it like now or like recently, like fuck, I just got into this. What the fuck?
To be honest though, if you are from the perspective of just getting into this, and all you know is that the cars are already really expensive, it's not really that much of a disappointment. It's like, it's already unaccessible. It's not accessible to me. Blah blah blah. So yeah. So FTLCRP said, do you think stance/camber culture is dying in the States? Now, I don't.
I think it's taking a backseat. I don't think it's dying, but I think it's taking a backseat.
I think the opposite. I think that stance and camber culture, I think we should name it camber culture because that's the negative thing for me. I think that it is still hugely increasing. I think that because of social media, how big TikTok, all these like easy
recycled.
I think that, people are continuously seeing this as an easy way to like get clout, get attention. Yeah. And so it's still on the up and up. Like I'm coming across like more and more YouTubers like pretty often now that their entire channel is like it features taking my cambered car here type of thing, like buzzwords. And it's a little gross. I mean, hey, I've done it before too, but it's like there's a bunch of like YouTubers and stuff popping up now that are getting like pretty big for having cambered cars, and that's their demographic. And it's like all of these kids that, are okay with, like I've watched some of these videos. It's a lot of these kids that are just okay with cutting corners and just doing shit like with as little effort as possible to make it look as crazy as possible. And so I think the trend is still on the up and up. And I'm not like super happy about that.
The reason why I don't notice it is just because
you're not tuned into that space.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I don't pay attention to that at all. Right? Yeah.
But I'm seeing it a lot. But I do think that it's going to get to a point where it plateaus and falls off. Because I mean, it's growing at such a rate where there's so many just like idiots in this space. And I think it could possibly even get to a point how like squatted trucks are. You know how like squatted trucks got to a point where people hate them so much that they started a petition with the state of South Carolina to get them banned.
Yeah.
If cambered cars gets to a point where people hate them so much because these kids are ignorant as shit and they just act like dumbasses, they cut corners, they do shit dangerously. It could also get to a point where they decide
don't get COVID, y'all.
It could get to a point where they decide, oh yeah, we want to ban camber, and then all of a sudden that fucking ruins it for a lot of us that are true enthusiasts. That camber is a byproduct of making a car look really good instead of being the only product.
Well, I mean that's a microcosm of the whole car, everything.
Right,
I mean, it's the few shitty people that want to be really loud are going to ruin it for everybody else.
And
which is why you should not. It's why you should strive to not be one of those shitty, loud people.
Absolutely. And like, I think that it would be easy for anybody that has, been aware of the stuff that I do online and seen my videos over the year to be listening to this right now and be like, well, aren't you kind of contradicting yourself? Because you definitely made videos on cambered cars and promoted it in that way. And that's very true. But the way that I promote stuff out to people is that I purposely try to reach that demographic. And then when I build an audience with that demographic, I slowly change them over time. I change people's perspectives. And, we have this podcast. This podcast gets through to people. Anybody that is willing to listen and does listen, it can change perspectives.
Right.
And I do the same thing with any of the video stuff that I do. I've always enticed people in with this very attractive nature of like, oh, cambered cars, all of this crazy stuff. And then when they come in and then they, watch my build series or any of the other stuff that I do, they can get a very, very quick perspective that I'm not like those people. I'm not building stuff for attention, and that is not the right way to do it. And hopefully it changes some of those people over. So for anybody that is thinking that like Liam's contradicting himself, it's not the case at all. I'm quite smart with the way that I market to certain people and the demographics that I build.
I'm quite smart.
Quite smart. No, not at all. I am quite stupid, but I'm smart. I'm smarter than some of those people.
Fake news. He is not stupid. I'm the stupid one between the two of us. Let's be honest.
Hey, we bring different things to the table, okay? But
she's got a great personality.
But no, I would like to see the cambered trend kind of die off a little bit because it's really taking away. Again, like with everything, there's right ways to do things and wrong ways to do things. And I think if the camber is your main focus, it's just not the way to do it. I don't think that you can truly call yourself a real enthusiast if the only thing that you care about in your car is how much camber it has. That's an attention thing, 100%. And I get that some people like to push boundaries, but pushing the boundaries is what gets you attention. And I'm not here for it. I'm here for people that like want to build a car. And if the car looking really good and something flowing with it means that it has to have camber, that's fine. Camber's a byproduct,
I was
like
going
I
to
said,
say,
not the main product.
You can push boundaries all day. Just do a good fucking job.
Right.
Like,
I've
put
seen
it together well.
I was going to say, I've seen crazy cambered cars that actually look good. And these are usually not the guys that are on the internet using the buzzword cambered to get attention.
Yeah. I mean, it all goes back to everything we have or will ever say is that, like, execution is the most important thing. When you're going in to build a modified car, how you choose to execute whatever your fucking idea is, whether anybody else likes it or not.
Yeah.
How the decisions you make.
Whose fucking car alarm is going off? Sorry, recording in the garage is not the best thing ever. I can't wait to get a real studio.
We're getting paid though. Remember, we're getting paid to make this in the garage.
That's right. That one guy in the YouTube comments that said must be nice to get paid and talk about cars. You're right. I can't wait to clock out after this.
Car alarms. So anyway, what I was saying is execution. Like literally, guys, like for me as an individual, the pursuit of a really fucking cool modified car that you can be proud of and enjoy, regardless of what anybody thinks about it, is if you executed it in a good way and like, you had your vision, whatever the fuck that may be, and you put effort into it. You know what I mean? You didn't take any shortcuts.
I feel like we're beating a dead horse because we say this every single episode.
Oh. Okay, well, rewind all of that. And
it's all valid points. It's just we've said it so many times. And
so
hopefully at this point.
Clip this. Execution is the most important thing.
Absolutely. Okay. Rachel Durper said,
Rachel.
Do you know her?
I miss Rachel, yeah.
Who is?
She used to live in the apartment below me and Ben.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
What's up, Rachel?
Hi, Rachel. I don't know if you're going to, hear this or you just dropped in to, comment. But hi, Rachel. I miss you.
So she said, what's the ultimate project car you die to finish? And then in parentheses, not literally. I mean, I'd die to finish some cars, like my own car already right now. Fuck.
So wait.
What's the ultimate project
one that
car?
we've had? The ultimate
I mean, it could. No, yeah. Well, just what's your ultimate build, I guess?
I think we all know the answer to that question.
Yours is an NSX.
Yeah. I think we all know the answer to that question.
So,
but the ultimate project car that I have owned that I would die to rebuild is my fucking Crown Majesta.
Yeah, yeah.
I had so many good fucking plans for that car. That was just made it all the more heartbreaking when I lost it because I had so much shit I wanted to do to that thing.
For me, I don't know that I have one specific ones. They come in waves, every year, or I go through phases where I get latched onto a specific chassis. I'm like, all right, I know what I'm gonna do with this. But for me, I want a Y32 SEMA so bad. Stock body, maybe 10 or 12 degrees of camber, static, K-brake aero. I want it black with black interior. Brushed silver wheels.
That would be fucking
just really simple traditional VIP.
Black on black.
I don't want to do radius. I don't want to do a custom wide body or anything. I want aero on it because I hate lip kits, and the K-brake kit on the Y32 looks really, really good. It's super boxy. That's one of those cars for me. The other one is a long wheelbase Jaguar XJ Von Implaz. Which I don't know when I'll get around to doing that because it's
this makes me sound like such a fucking fanboy.
What?
I want a Jaguar XJ. What did you say? Vandenplas?
Vandenplas.
And I'm like, I want an NSX.
Hey, I'm a nerd when it comes to thinking about projects. I literally have the entire thing planned in my head. The XJ, I've already got cantilever suspension stuff.
All right, fine.
Drawn out for that.
I get one more.
Sure.
Full rally spec Celica GT4 with the pop-ups. The pop-ups.
I actually
205.
I'm pretty sure
that's 201.
What years were those?
91.
Cool. So they're legal for import. You could do it.
Oh, dude, they bring them in all the time. I'm just fucking broke.
Damn.
I would there was literally, I didn't want to spend the money, but it's a giveaway, so I wouldn't have won anyway. But they're doing a giveaway for one that's all white with white, like, actual OZ gravel rally wheels.
No shit.
Which would be, like,
prime
dream spec. Like, basically, I would get that car and then just, like, put a Castrol livery on it and just get, like, some fucking purpose-made, like, rally exhaust just to have the fun sounds and then just fucking drive it.
That'd be gas. So, Garrett, Sad Dot Machine, said, how should photographers practice their shooting method and learn that it's not all about the most expensive lenses and gear? I'm sure you're probably not going to chime into this.
I'm going to defer this to Liam.
So the best thing, the best thing that I can say for photographers that are, trying to learn and get into stuff is only upgrade your equipment when you absolutely need to. If you are limited by the equipment that you have, then it's time to upgrade. If you
tell what that encompasses, because I feel like it would be so easy for people to be like, oh, well,
right. That's what I was going to get to is, it's real easy to see all of the new fancy equipment that's coming out all the time now, like how, technology is improving and all of this nice stuff. A lot of the time, they're features that you don't actually need. It's slightly different if you're a photographer than if you're a videographer. Videography stuff, you kind of have to keep up with some of the stuff. Photo shit, like, dude, I could buy a 10-year-old DSLR right now and still be totally fine with shooting with it. Megapixels really don't matter. I think that autofocus is an important thing to certain photographers. If you're somebody that shoots drifting stuff, a lot of action things where subjects are moving, you need to have decent autofocus. Some people will take the time to learn how to really manual focus or work with the equipment that they have, and I think that's the most important thing. It will always make you a better photographer to work with what you have and get the best results possible until you physically cannot work with that anymore. Like it's holding back the progression of your work. And so I kind of recommend to a lot of people to start shooting with just like a cheap used DSLR and spend your money on lenses. If you have any option to spend money, spend it on lenses because buying a really, really nice prime lens is going to change the way that your pictures look drastically than buying a fancy bodied camera, because you can take like the same pictures on the camera that we're filming this on.
Not that I know like 10 a whole lot about this stuff, and I mean obviously yes, there's a marked difference between some bodies and other bodies, but like it sounds like skill and like lens are like two of the biggest. The lens is what's gonna allow you to get like certain looks, and trying out different lenses is always something I recommend, because you'll find focal lengths that you prefer. I personally prefer shooting wider because I like working with my surroundings to lead into the subject, and wide lenses just do that a little bit better. And some people like telephoto lenses because they like using background and foreground blur to kind of tell a story and stuff like that. And some people, I'd recommend even starting with film. Getting into film stuff teaches you to really think about what it is that you're going to do, because you're limited by the amount of pictures that you have and you can't see them right away. I feel like film is like, what a batting ring is, right? Batting ring? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like the batting cages or whatever? Well, so a batting ring is like this metal, I'm going to say it's big, but it's a metal ring, right? It's a weighted metal ring that you basically put on a baseball bat that makes it like a lot heavier. It makes, so you have to work harder? Yeah. So you if you do X amount of time when you're practicing using a batting ring, and then you take it off, the bat just by itself is light as fuck. So it's kind of like, at least in my head, shooting film is kind of like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because, granted, film is fucking awesome to begin with. It's very rewarding. But, to be able to do film. If you figure out how to, like, shoot film really well, once you transfer those skills over to, a camera where you can fucking, like, look at it and you're like, I don't like it, and do it again, like, you're in good shape. Right. Yeah. No, it's definitely a good thing for a lot of people to learn, like,
the basic understanding of exposure and things like that. Film is definitely very good for that. But as far as like how you can get out and practice, just get out and practice. Like literally, it's as simple as that. Go out, find something that you're interested in shooting and shoot it. Look at other people that shoot the same thing, study theirs, see what they do well, see what things you don't like. You know, compare. I don't recommend that people compare their work to others, but if you're learning and you're trying to develop your own style, it is important to study other people's art and figure out what they're doing well and things that you like and things that you don't like. And that's all I can really say is just getting out as much as possible and actually practicing is really the best way you're going to hone in on your skills. And just don't be tempted to go out and buy fancy cameras, because at the end of the day, the fancy cameras are going to allow you to do your job more efficiently. But if you're not at a level where you're super professional and high end or whatever, you don't need to be able to do it proficiently. You need to be able to just do it, period. And so learning on a camera
only
that is more simple is way more important.
Every now and then, I shoot film. Mm-hmm. And I will say that, honestly, if you learn, like, to shoot film as kind of like your stepping stone, like, it comes back around to the batting ring thing. But honestly, not only is that, like, your batting ring, even, it's kind of like you said, like, film can be really rewarding. In the very beginning, it can be kind of unforgiving. Yeah. But when you're like, you know, when you're in your adolescence of learning how to use film, even when you fuck up, sometimes it can be kind of cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, random mistake images can also look really cool.
So, but then part of it. You know, then there's always, I will never be able to get over how nice it is to have tangible shit.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say stuff like making mistakes in filming and a picture actually coming out good is what will teach you to appreciate things a little bit more too. Because if you fire off 100 pictures from a DSLR and like the majority of them are like, these are shit, then you may not even notice like the one mistake image in there that was actually really cool. Whereas with film, because you've only taken it one time and you thought really, you know, strongly about what it was that you're doing, and then you get it back and it, you know, it didn't come out right. But then you're like, well,
it has that, that like magic to it.
Yeah. So, you know, it teaches you to appreciate things a lot more and put more thought into stuff.
On that same line, this is something that I actually talked about in the first page of Choice, was about how, you know, how easy it is to just, like you said, how easy it is to just not give a shit about a photo that's only in a computer. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, it could literally be like the last photo you have of somebody that you love that passed away or something, but it's on the computer. So yeah, it hits, but like if you had that in film and you can hold it in your hands and look in that photo, it's so much more powerful. Right. Like that's just the way it is. So, you know, it's like I have, back when I used to do it a lot more, like I think I still have a new battery for it, but I had like an Olympus point and shoot from like the early 2000s. And I kept all of my like car adventures basically that I went on from like, honestly, probably the first like 4 years that I was really like doing stuff and like making friends. Yeah. I had that point and shoot with me all the time. I still look through those fucking pictures. Just to fuck, you know what I mean? Just to like relive that stuff.
I do the same thing. Like I shot a lot of film in my early years of being involved with car stuff. And regrettably, I wish I'd keep shooting more, and that's why I take disposable cameras a lot of places. Because it's not
perfect example. Those are so awesome.
They are. It's great memories.
Those photos, it's so cool.
It's not the same as like being a photographer, but just film as a whole, it's really good.
Yeah, it's just fun, man. You don't have to. I don't consider myself a photographer, but like, I have a whole fucking lot of fun shooting film, and I really should do it more. So
yeah. Okay, so Awkward Alex said, thoughts on mixing styles from different car cultures, i.e. VIP cars with lowrider influences, Euro cars with Japanese styling, etc.
All day.
I think this is really cool, and I'm actually kind of glad that somebody brought this up. It's been a common thing that I've seen in VIP stuff where people will either do pinstriping, engraving, or they do the like custom like roof painting stuff that's very lowrider style. And I really like the way that they tie together. I think that there's certain things that could not work that well together, but VIP and lowrider stuff works really, really nicely.
Well, because it's like attention to detail.
Well,
they both have a lot of emphasis on.
You know what else I think? Just for some reason, I don't know how and why it works. I think that both of them have gangster backgrounds.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
it's almost like you could literally park a VIP car with a lowrider, like they'd just be in the same crew.
Yeah.
It's the same type of people that like approach those cars, and I'm not saying that like everybody that's involved in that stuff is gangsters or bad people, but it's that lifestyle appeal that comes with those type of cars that they align really, really well.
That was one of the things I wanted to do with the Majesta was
really,
there was a guy in Atlanta that I was gonna get to paint it and just do on the C pillar. Mm-hmm. I was gonna do like I say this like assuming people know what I mean when I say it, but it's basically like, you know how they do where they paint over like lace, so you have like the lace pattern.
Yeah,
I was gonna have that done. I was gonna it was gonna be like a really light gray lace background, like
so it's kind of hidden,
really light,
hidden in the white. Basically.
Yeah,
it's like
really light, and then it's like so it's the lace pattern, and then like a or two like white roses.
Yeah,
but the whole thing is just like so light, so it's just like really understated.
Yeah,
but like I'm so fucking excited to do that.
Well, I want to do some engraving stuff on my car. I really want to take my door handles, have them engraved, and then send them off to get chrome plated, because they make chrome door handle covers that are just plastic, and I think that's really fucking corny.
Yeah.
And I want engraved handles that are chrome plated. So I'd have to take them off, because I know the handles are metal. Yeah. Send them off to somebody that could engrave them and then get them chrome plated. Oh, I want to do it so bad, and then I'm planning to do pinstriping on my car, just real subtle, just along the side body line, and then when it gets to the rear quarter panel, just for tax reasons, I have to have my brand on my car somewhere. I'm going to have Cholo lettering of LEP Automotive across the rear quarter panel, just like very lowrider style. And there's a couple guys up in Louisville that are big into lowrider stuff, and so there's one of those pinstripe guys that hopefully can take care of it for me. But yeah, I love the mix, the crossover of styles.
Shameless Sad Machines plug. That he is the embodiment of doing that.
Yeah, he loves doing that.
Awkward
stuff.
Alex, if you have not listened to me and you don't follow Sad Machines yet, you need to follow him, because this is like mixing styles like that is the name of the game with him, and he mixes styles that you would never fucking like think to put together.
Yeah.
So for me, all fucking day, dude. Mixing styles, as long as you do it like in an, I don't want to say educated because that sounds really lofty, but like if you don't do it in just like a really haphazard way,
you can't do too much.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Euro cars with Japanese styling. This is something that I've actually seen. Like I came across I saw a Jetta at Slamming Off Gatlinburg. Mm-hmm. That had like a very like Japanese drift style livery on it, and it was slammed static on some fucking like one piece 5-spoke wheels. They might have been like Advans or something, and it was like it looked like a drift car, but it is a Volkswagen. It was either a Jetta or it was a Passat. It might have been a Passat. Had a 326 wing on it. Usually I'm against 326 wings on a lot of stuff.
I love
but this car, granted, was not that clean.
Mm-hmm. The idea was there.
Yeah, the idea was it. The fact that it was like drift influence on a fucking Volkswagen, I thought was so cool. And I had other Volkswagen people that were like hanging around me, and they looked at it at the same time that I did, and I was like, man, this thing's sick. And I went over there and like introduced myself, and I was like, yo, I just wanted to say the car's really cool. Like my Volkswagen friends hated it.
Ugh.
They were like, that thing's such a fucking piece of shit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Volkswagen people can be a little weird with that. Like a lot of them are somewhat purists, but like I'm open to like the mixing of like multi stuff like that. I think it's really fucking cool.
I am hilariously indifferent to Volkswagen cars. Like no offense to Volkswagen people listening to this, but like my level of don't care about Volkswagens is so high. Like sometimes I don't even like notice them at all. Like, granted, there are some really nice ones. There are some really nice ones. Like my friend Bobby Sanders in Atlanta, he's got a Tiguan. I have no idea what the color is, but it's lowered a little bit on, at least last time I saw it, it had like 5-spoke Audi wheels. Mm-hmm. Fucking art, dude. It's so good. But like, I'm so unimpressed by volume. Yeah. But what I was going to say,
we even see it with like BMWs too. Like,
that's what I was going to say is like E30s and E36s. You see a lot of that with like BN kit style stuff.
It's Click Tuning. It's a company in Scotland that makes that like BN style wild kit for the E36s. Dude, it's so fucking cheap. This is why I'm so sold on wanting an E36. And like when I get a touring, I'm very much planning to build this thing as like it's a drift inspired car. Like it's gonna look rowdy.
I feel like you know this guy because I feel like I've seen you interact with him on Instagram, and I think that something may have happened to the car recently. But it is a E36 coupe with like a really cool JDM looking kit. I don't know if it is, but it was like white silver two-tone. And it had, did it have like a 326 wing on or something? I don't know, but
talking about Carl?
Was it Carl's car? No, I don't know. But
my friend
super
Tyler,
cool.
was it in Michigan? Oh, well,
I don't know.
I could have sworn there was one up there that was white silver two-tone. Either way, E36s set up to look like S chassis is fucking awesome.
E36s were designed by a Japanese guy. Did you know that?
Ooh, take that, Euro purists.
Yeah. And the E36 was designed by a Japanese guy. I don't know his name, but you can Google that shit.
Damn.
It was designed by a Japanese guy, which would explain why so many of us like it.
Okay. That's Steez 7K. That's PJ. He has that bagged Ferrari 348. He said, upcoming shows for 2022, what shows are you going to? And do you think Gatlinburg will be crazier than the last 2 years? How do you feel about it? So first off, shows that we're planning to attend. I'm hoping I can get Matt and Benny to come.
As long as I don't get COVID again.
I know. I'm hoping that I can get Matt and Benny to come to some shows with me because like the best content is going to be us three together. As far as like actual shows, like I know like in the short term, I'm going to be at Slammed Enough Destin.
When is that? I'd really like to go to that.
It is the first weekend of March. So it's,
if I can
like 6 weeks, I guess.
Leave on Friday and like be back by work on Monday.
Though. I might be going down there for a little bit longer because it's like, that's a destination.
No, yeah, for sure. But that would certainly...
Pardon the pun, destination.
Get out.
No, like I might be down there from like Thursday to Monday.
I was about to be like, I can just... But that's like a fucking 8-hour drive. I don't know if I want to do all that.
Well, I don't know. We can figure something out. But yeah, I'll be at that. Obviously going to be at Riverside. Riverside is the #1 show of the entire year. I don't know what other shows yet. I'm kind of just going to like, because I'm not planning to vendor stuff, like I said. And so like whenever a show pops up, it'll kind of just be a case of, hey, you want to go to the show? And
yeah, I was going to say, like, as far as like planning ahead, they have to be like really, something we're outwardly interested in going to.
Like Slammed Enough Gatlinburg, I'm going to be there because like I go, it's the show that I'm known for. So yes, I'm going to go to Gatlinburg. But yeah, the second part of that question, do you think Gatlinburg's going to be crazier than the last 2 years, and how do you feel about it? I think it is, and I'm a little concerned about it because this year we saw a lot of people that would usually go to H2O come to this because H2O is like done. Nobody's even going to like fight with the police anymore. It's just over. And so I'm a little concerned that some of those people that have ruined H2O and made it into like a battle.
That like people, it's like, oh, dude, it was so crazy last year. Let's make it even. No,
I know.
No, you're gonna get us fucking. Dude, I don't know if anybody listening, Soho in Helen, like OG Soho, was one of my favorite car shows ever. I'm not exaggerating. And I was there on the last year that they did it because the city of Helen literally was like, we are not allowing this anymore.
Right.
They have since allowed some events to happen there, which actually I would
we
like
are
to
going to go. Yeah,
I would like to go to that because
but we're not publicly stating that. That's just allegedly. You guys are not going.
I don't even remember the name, but the last one that I went to in Helen had old Soho vibes, and I was like, this is cool. But I digress. That year, when it just got completely out of control, it was literally like...
It was just so many other people were just showing up.
And the thing is it's like, I'm not going to say that because it would make me sound really like, but I feel like it can be really easy to like, especially when you're with your homies, to get like really caught up when shit's like fucking, getting out. You're like, oh yeah, we're whatever. It's like, dude, if you like the show, you can get rowdy with your friends, but do that shit in like a contained area.
Right.
Like, I remember walking out of the Hellendorf and just like, there's people everywhere. But then, like, literally, it was, like, fucking surreal. I walked out. Have you ever been to Helen?
No, but I've heard
Helen,
a lot of things. It's tiny, right?
It's very small, and Helen has one main road that goes through the entire city, or the entire town, whatever. One main road, right? On that main road, it was at the top of the hill. The Hellendorf's at, like, the bottom of the hill there. Mm. That main road, there were literally so many people in the road. Like, it got to a point where there was like a family coming through in a minivan, and people were like banging on their windows and shit, telling them to do a burnout.
No, yeah.
Let me hold on. Let me tell you how bad it got. Which, I mean, granted, this is okay. Yes, it's funny, but it's like in this context, it's so bad. There were so many people, and because Helen is so small, they have like, I don't goddamn know, like 6 cops or some bullshit.
Yeah.
There were so many people doing burnouts right there, and the cops couldn't even get in because there were so many people. They literally got on, they were so desperate, they got on the fucking megaphone and said, you have 3 minutes to do burnouts, and then we're going to start arresting people.
Yeah.
They literally sanctioned the burnouts
for 3 more minutes
because there were so many people there, and they felt like they couldn't do that. Like, that is fucking absurd.
No, it's
like that. So
I'm a little concerned that Gatlinburg will get out of control at some point, because just the more and more people that come, the crazier
it's gonna be
it
even
gets.
crazier.
Yeah,
like, dude,
and like
no, just
the
be
way
crazy at your fucking Airbnb.
The way, yeah, exactly. The way that it has always been in Gatlinburg is that, you get a big cabin or whatever with your homies, and then you like party with your homies at your cabins. There's no like pop-up meets where people just get reckless. I've hosted meets, and I've always made sure that people are not acting reckless. And unfortunately, there was a meet this past Gatlinburg on the Saturday night where everybody was just doing burnouts, and that's not acceptable at all. Like, it's literally going to ruin that show.
I will never understand.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It's just like people see it as an opportunity to be dickheads, and it sucks.
I can talk about that with literally anybody under any context, and they could explain every part of it to me, and I will still never understand.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Like doing a burnout just to like jerk yourself off.
Yeah, and
that's such a weird thing to do.
Granted, Gatlinburg is not as fun as it used to be for me, because when it was a lot smaller and quieter, like nobody was just doing stuff to like one up each year. And so it definitely was better back in the day, and it's still a good show to go to, and it's still a really fun experience to be in the mountains with your friends. But yeah, just
the Camber people
be respectful.
Are ruining it.
be respectful, guys. Like, don't completely fuck this up. Okay, so Mason, fucking third mention in this damn podcast. He said, "What are some of your 3-year goals with your involvement in the automotive community?" So this is for both of you. Doesn't have to be ultimate goals, just 1 or 2 achievements that you've set out for yourselves.
Well, first of all, to get the fucking TSX to where I want it, for fuck's sake. But I'll be honest, this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I wanna get to a point with this podcast where, this sounds kind of weird, but like, I want to get to a point with this podcast where I feel kind of like that same level of anybody at a show can walk up and we can just launch into a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Because like when I was doing Not Fast, granted I had a booth, so there was a little bit more context, but even still, I mean, it's a little different with you simply because you are your own brand. People know what you look like, you have the YouTube videos, this and that. When I was doing Not Fast, like, if you didn't know me as a person, and you just knew Not Fast as the Instagram, the website, and the merch. Right. That's all. So it's like when people like came up to me and like knew who I was, you're like, oh, you know, you're the Not Fast guy. You're Matt. You didn't know whatever. It was like, I mean, here I am like freaking out with my little 15 minutes, but like it was just such a surreal feeling that something that I did
can make an impact to like other people.
You know what I mean? To the point where it's like somebody by whatever avenue like knew who I was when I had no idea who they were, and we could just launch into a good conversation about something.
Oh, 100%.
So it's like that's what I'd like to do. That's where I'd like to be with this podcast, where I can be at a point where people will like see me at a show and be like, "You're on set," and I'll be like, "Yes, I am. Let's talk about things." You know what I mean?
No, I very much agree with that, actually. You know, just starting this podcast was definitely a big goal of mine for the past couple of years, and it's really cool now to see it, like, doing things, and I'm just excited to see where this goes, and I really enjoy, you know, being part of this, and when we can get guests on here and get to a point where, like, maybe in the near future we're, like, traveling to car shows, and then we just do podcasts in our hotel room where we can have like a guest come in and like I just want to have I want to have a huge multitude of guests.
He wants to have a huge multitude of desks.
Yes, I want a lot of desks. I literally want this entire podcast to just be full of desks. No, I want a ton of guests on here that are from all kinds of different perspectives and backgrounds that can give insight into some of the topics that we talk about, because there's only so much that me and Matt can do. We've covered a lot of big topics, and when you start introducing new guests, you know, you can do an interview with them and get to know them, and you know, I like being able to use my platform to share things and put people onto stuff. You know, if I see that somebody else is doing something good, I want to promote that.
Yeah, I'm never put them out there.
Yeah, I'm never from the perspective of like I need to hold back from promoting things because it might affect something that I'm doing. I'm always, if I see somebody doing something good, I want to help promote that, and I love that I could have a platform to do that, and also just being able to share different insight from so many different people that have had different backgrounds and different approaches to building cars.
That's my thing, man.
Whatever
that's always my thing is like I am addicted to getting like new perspective, because even if I don't agree with it, I still listen to it.
Absolutely,
I still have that information.
I say knowledge is everything.
You know, if I'm in a conversation, I can be like, well, actually, you know, I talked to this guy one time that like thought about XYZ like this. I don't agree, but it was an interesting point. You know what I mean? So it's like you agree, disagree, doesn't fucking matter. Like if you are having an exchange of information, exchange of interest, and getting a perspective from somebody else, that's valuable.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, if this could grow into something where it is more of it's just well known by a lot of people, like if it becomes a household name in this subculture that we're a part of, that would be incredible, because then we can use this to do good things and improve our community. And as far as other goals, you know, I've got a ton of business goals. One thing that I'm really, really wanting to do, you know, in the next couple of years is get into hosting car shows. And I've been, you know, wanting to work towards that for a long time. And this year at some point I need to make some kind of a step into it, whether that's doing like small meets or something. I need to build some kind of reputation with venues to be able to approach a huge venue and leverage getting it to do a crazy car show at some point.
Atlanta people.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we do meets, it will probably be under the Substance name, because this is actually the name that I had picked out about 4 years ago for a car show. And it just kind of worked out that this can work as a podcast as well, and you know, we can get you guys involved with this, and then when I do car shows, I've got the right people that I would want to have at a car show, you know, right here.
I just think it's just so, that's just still the part that's so cool to me about this, is it's like we've talked about in the past, like our audience, like you guys it's growing so organically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, granted, it's great when we have little
running
spikes.
Ads. We're not doing like crazy things to
you know what I mean? But it's like, y'all are here because you're open to new perspectives. Y'all are here because, at least I think, because you're interested in the stuff that we're saying. And it's just like, that's just, hopefully, that's just a microcosm of in the future, we have entire shows that just ultimately consist of people on that same wavelength.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
And
so that's just
the
super
nice
cool.
the nice thing with producing stuff like this is that nobody is here unless they want to be here. If you hate all of the things that we're talking about, you're not going to sit here for an hour and 45 minutes and listen to what we had to say because you can't say anything back and blah, blah, blah. So anybody that is here and is actually listening through this stuff legitimately wants to be here, and that's what we want. That organic growth and the fact that you guys will just share this with your friends because you think it's great is fucking awesome, and we want more people like that. We want people that just want to be here. If you don't want to be here and you don't like this, don't listen to it.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Because it's not going to add value to it. And, we always want to have people that have differing perspectives. So, yes, by all means, tune in and give us your insight, but we don't ever want people here that just fucking hate what we're talking about. That's just pointless.
I mean, it would be kind of funny to have like one person that just every episode they would just be like, these guys are something. It just becomes like a running meme. It's just that one guy that hates us.
Hey, I'm sure there is someone. I think I'm going to do one more question. There is a lot, and we have not hit all of these at all, not even close.
I don't know if y'all have noticed, but
this is
we can go on.
Yeah,
we can
this
really
is
get
this
into
is hard,
stuff
and we could make
sometimes.
this a really, really long episode, but I have stuff to do this evening, and I have a really, really bad headache right now. So yeah, I'm gonna do my best to kind of round up. But I'm gonna do one more question, and I did read this one yesterday. I thought it was quite good. This is from pink_shoes. That's SHOOZE. As far as indoor shows, how much responsibility is on the owner of the car versus the staff to maintain a standard? If a show is willing to accept my car with honest pictures and description, is it okay to bring it even though it may not be perfect?
Okay, hold on. I'm so sorry. Can you run that back one more time?
I can. So as far as indoor shows, how much responsibility is on the owner of the car versus the owner of the show or staff to maintain a standard? So he's saying that should it be the responsibility of a car show to let in mediocre cars, or is it up to the responsibility of the car owner? So if he sends in pictures, he applies for a show, and his car is okay, it's not perfect, and the show accepts it, should he still bring his car?
In my head, that would...
I think
technically this is like a knee-jerk reaction on my part, but like in my head, that's kind of like an honor code kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
If you apply to a show, yes, technically, if you have like photos that make your car look fucking crazy good,
right? If you're dishonest,
your inclination is going to be like, "Oh, send those. Like, I'll get in." You know what I mean? But like at that point, if you have clearly misadvertised your car, and it gets to the show and it's a piece of shit, I'll be honest with you. I think that as long as they like, I don't know, they like refund you or some offer of like goodwill, because dude, if you register for a show and it's like $60-$80, and you send your whatever in and they accept you, and then you get turned down at the door and they keep your money, wouldn't you be pissed?
Yes, I think it's a two-way street. I think that there's obviously areas. So, but like you said, it's an honor code.
It's an honor code thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's I guess like he mentioned, it's send an honest picture.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like if you know that possibility is there, that if your car is not what you present it to be, that you can be turned away. Right.
Well, so some car shows have catfish policies. Some of them don't actually stick to it, but
see, I didn't know that.
See, I think that, it is like a two-way street. And like you said, it's an honest code thing. Like, if you send in honest pictures and the car show accepts it, but you're not at a point where you're content enough with your car, don't take it. Like, if you're already questioning it and you're like, well, my car's not perfect, should I take it or not? Don't take it. Don't take it. If you're questioning it, if you're just excited to have your car in there and you're not questioning it at all, then by all means, take it. The show accepted you. And you sent in honest pictures, the show accepted you, whatever, take it. That's on the show.
Right.
If they get backlash because they accepted your car, that's on the show.
Yeah.
If you're already questioning it in your own head to whether your car's clean enough to go, maybe don't.
Yeah.
Don't take it.
But I will, that is like, it sounds really easy,
But yeah, some people are too over the top. I am.
Well, I was gonna say, you said some people, like, that's not either of us. You know what I mean? Like, if we submitted our cars for, like, fucking Stance Nation, for instance, right? Mm-hmm. And you get accepted, you're like, oh fuck, I get accepted to be in Stance Nation, this and that. The first thought in your head, even if it is like, oh fuck, but there's that thing, it's gonna be really hard to be like, yeah, I know I applied, but Stance Nation must be next year. You can do it, but that's not easy.
Here's the difference, though. If I have flaws on my car that, like, and I have the time to fix them,
you button them
I'm
up.
I'm gonna do everything that I can to make sure that the car is as good as it can be for that show.
I kind of
I get what you're saying.
That was implied. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Sorry. But I get what you're saying. Like, it's, if you get accepted for a show or whatever, it's kind of hard to just walk away and be like, whatever.
Yeah.
But I've done it. My car has been in one show. Because I've just not applied for other shows because I'm like, well, I'm not happy with it. And the one show my car was in.
Your car is kind of a different case, buddy.
Why?
Because your car is like top fucking tier.
No, it's not.
Liam. Okay, it's going to be. Is the point.
It's literally not. God. It is literally not. And so,
all right, y'all heard it here first. Liam knows that he's building a piece of shit.
It's not a piece of shit, but it is nowhere near perfect.
Okay.
Right? And
are you being semantic about the word perfect? Because here's my point, Liam. You
didn't see the car in its old form, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Up close?
When it was on the phone dial wheels?
Phone dial?
They had the fucking.
It was never on those. Those were just mock-ups. The car had literally never moved on those wheels.
Oh, well then I guess
the old setup on the old VIP modulars, when it was stock body, just had a lip kit on it, wasn't anything crazy.
It was that body when you took those photos with Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Yes, so then I've seen it.
Okay. But up close, that thing was not clean at all. One side of the car was a fucking mess. One side. It was absolutely fuckered. And the one time that car was in a car show was Simply Clean. And on the drive down to Simply Clean, I burnt through my fender.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a good idea to air out on the interstate at 80 mile an hour for
that
a
was
fucking
actually
picture.
Something that I was thinking about when you were talking about that.
Is if something gets damaged,
happens, like on
that's
the way
thing.
there.
Like, I showed up, I was a booth car for Airlift.
Yeah. Ooh.
I'm like, fuck.
Ooh.
And I'm like, I show up, this fender is brown because it's burnt, and I burnt through it. It's all chewed up. I literally, like, used the rough side of my ratchet that has, like, the whole bit that you'd hold that's rough. I used that to, like, sand off any bullshit. And then I had touch-up paint, did whatever I could to make it look somewhat okay. And I regret doing that because I know there's a lot of people that walked up to that car and were just like, man, that's terrible. But this was the first time I'd had that opportunity. And so I was like, yeah, I want to have my car in there. Looking on it now, I wouldn't have done that. And my car has not been in a show since.
This is what I'm getting at. You are different than a lot of people. You, like you said, you walked away from however the fuck many shows because you're very, like, you take that super seriously, right? Yeah. But for a lot of people, like myself included, like thinking about it right now, I'm watching it too. Thinking about it right now, my Crown Majesta was in Stance Nation, and I completely ignore the fact that it's entirely possible that, okay, I'm going to rewind. It was clean.
Yeah.
My Majesta was really clean, but it was on those fucking, JDM rep wheels, right? And the fucking clear was peeling on like 3 of those wheels, and it did not look good. It was not like trash.
Yeah.
It was rough, right? But the photos that I sent in for my registration were the photos that Charlie took. Have I ever showed you those photos?
No, but I'm assuming they were really nice pictures.
They were very nice pictures, and the wheels look like solid.
Yeah.
So literally, I'm guilty of this. At the time, it didn't, like, I wasn't thinking about all of that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was just like, holy fucking shit. I got into Stance Nation.
Which, I get it. That's probably a lot of people's take on it.
I think that's just kind of what I'm, like, interjecting with, is that I guess I just want to give credence to the fact that while all of this is a point, but it's like, if you get accepted to a show that, like, you were just really fucking jazzed about, but your car is not, like, exactly how you want it, it would just be kind of illogical to be like, dude, just try again next year. Like, no, like,
that is totally valid. And I think that again, back to my point, if you're in a space where maybe there's certain things on your car, there's flaws that you know about, but maybe other people won't notice, not that big of a deal. But if there's flaws that you are already questioning, like if people are going to notice and point them out, that's when I would, take a second guess and be like, well, should I take the car? And then back to, what responsibility is on the show owner or the show staff about letting in cars. I mean, for one, shows need to up some of their standards for this stuff, because meeting a quota is just like, it's acceptable to a point. I get that it's a business, but like, we do not need to let the quality of cars drop completely, because then that just deters anybody that does have nice cars. Nobody with nice cars wants to be parked in the same area as people with, half-assed cars. And it's not because they think they're better. It's because the cars are better. It's not like a personal thing where somebody's elite and they're so much better than other people. It's that some cars are built really well and some are just built like shit for attention. Yeah. And they shouldn't be in the same place together.
Right,
and if you have a really nice car that you've spent years and tons of money building and it is super, super high end, it's kind of disrespectful to be put in the same place as somebody that slapped something together in a month and it looks like shit.
Well, it's like that.
So I think a lot of that responsibility does land on the show owner.
I would agree. And I mean, like what I think about, and this is, I'm not throwing shade at Import Alliance, but I will say that like, I'm glad that they at least at the one in Atlanta, they have like the showcase in the paddocks.
Right.
But like outside of that, it's almost like I'm like saying that I'm a fan of like this little game, but it's kind of like, at least for me and my friends, whenever we did go to IA, it would be like a tradition to like look at the show cars, do the whatever, and then just meander out in the lots.
Yeah.
Because you'll
find the occasional. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like you'll be out there and you'll just be like, man, holy fuck! It's just surrounded by absolute garbage.
Right.
But like, the point is, I agree with you.
Yeah.
That was a weird offshoot, but I agree with you. It's just like it literally can feel like low key insulting if you put all this time and effort into building like a show car to like your standards that, even exceeds other people's standards.
Yeah.
And then you get parked next to somebody who just clearly fucking didn't.
Right.
Because there becomes like an implied, like, it's implied. It's not directly said. You know what I mean?
It just brings down the standard.
The property value.
Yeah, essentially. That's exactly what it is. Holy shit, I hadn't even thought about that. It's like, nobody's going to value your car as much. Or maybe the opposite. Maybe because it's a piece of shit, they will value your car more.
I think it's like a 0 or 100, really.
Yeah, I think it kind of brings the average down, which kind of sucks. But anyways, I think that is about it for questions.
That was a really good question.
It was.
I really enjoyed that question.
I do apologize for anybody else that had left us questions. I feel like there are, a couple more on here that would have been really good. Just weren't able to get to all of them. It takes a while to answer all the questions. My head's killing me.
No. Oh, like not right now. Just like do it at a different time. Yeah.
Yeah, we could definitely do another Q&A episode at some point.
Because I enjoyed this. The beginning was all over the fucking place. But, I mean, this was fun.
But no, thank you guys for sending in all of those questions. We really appreciate it. It's cool to get you guys to engage and actually ask us questions, prompt us. It's cool because it really starts the conversation.
Like I said at the beginning, like I mean. Give us ideas.
Yeah.
Like, we're not stealing them from you, but just like if you want to hear us talk about something, tell us that. And odds are, if you put the idea into our heads, we will talk about that or something adjacent to that.
Right.
But it's like, give us ideas. Let us know what you guys would be interested in hearing, because like for us, this is just, oh, cool. This is a new thing to fucking talk about. Like,
right.
So,
like I said in the start of the episode, I did say at the end of the last episode that I was going to give away 2 Substance shirts. I am on the post right now on the Instagram, just going to, I guess, randomly pick. Let me see.
Oh, give it to me.
You want to do it? Okay, just pick a random comment. What is that?
2 IS Chris.
Alrighty, that's one.
Okay.
And
what bags?
Okay. So those are the 2 winners. If you guys are listening to this, please send me a DM on @substance_show. Send me your full name, your mailing address, and the size shirt that you wear, and I'll get some stuff out to you guys. But I really appreciate everybody for tuning in, as always. And if you guys do want to support the show, please go and buy some of those shirts. They're on lepautomotive.com/shop right now. And as you can see, Matt is wearing this really, really dope crew neck.
These things are... I've been wanting a crew neck, and for some fucking reason, I haven't just bought one. But this thing is so comfortable.
This green is fire. And if any of you guys have any experience with my hoodies, the Gatlinburg hoodies that I drop every year are extremely heavy and extremely thick. These are the same. And I'm not dropping them just yet. But like I mentioned at one point in this episode, I'm switching to a monthly drop. I was planning to do one at the start or the end of this month. I'm postponing it back to the end of February. So the first official drop for LEP this year will be at the end of February, and I'll start promoting it here in a couple of weeks. But this crew neck will be a part of that drop, and I'm extremely excited about it because it is one of the nicest garments I've ever worn.
I was super stoked with it.
I only took mine off today because Matt decided to wear his, and we didn't want to look like bozos on here. And so I'm wearing this other gray hoodie, which is actually going to be part of the drop too, which I have gray sweatpants as well. Bunch of stuff. Not promoting it just yet, but just to let you guys know.
Can I ask a little question really quick?
Yeah.
What kind of decal, like Substance decals, would y'all be interested in? Like, I don't even know. I'm like a little bit out of touch. Like when I did Not Fast, like I was pumping out like box stickers designs like all the time because that was like a thing when I was doing that. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's changed up a little bit since then. Like they're a lot less.
Honestly, I think just like pretty normal die cut stickers that maybe even like that big, maybe slightly smaller than what's on the front of that crew neck as a sticker would probably be fine for most people. I don't know if you guys have any preferences on stuff.
I didn't ask Liam. I asked you.
That's what I was thinking, and I do have some coming.
Yeah, I personally, considering I'm going to be designing some of them, would like to know like what you guys would run on your cars. So,
but yeah, thank you guys. As always, give us 5 stars on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Like this video if you're watching on YouTube. Post in the comments. Subscribe to YouTube, subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I'm trying to cover all bases here. Just do all the things on all the things. We hugely appreciate it. And
yes, we do.
If you want to engage with us on Instagram. What?
I took the dots out of my fucking Substance account, so now it's so much easier.
Okay, so
it's
it
just
is now
Substance Matt. Yes,
okay, perfect.
Substance Matt.
Perfect. It is just Substance Matt. Sub.stance.matt is kind of a mouthful, and it's just a pain. Yes, it's Substance
Matt. I think the thing is, when I first made the account, it was taken or something. I don't remember.
Well, no, I think we were going to make sub.stance. That's why. Because remember, we put the dot in the logo, and it's still there, but it's just there to like separate it a little bit. I didn't want the Instagram to be sub.stance. I wanted it to just be Substance Show, but Substance_show. It's fine.
It's fine. It's all fine. Substance Matt. No dots, Substance Matt.
If you want to engage with us on Instagram, you can. We're pretty responsive with messages. We're happy to talk to you guys.
Really quick, shout out to everybody who has been in the DMs.
There's been a lot of people.
A lot of support. I mean, people asking me questions, people showing me like their builds. Like, keep that shit coming. I love that. I love talking to people that are interested in this stuff. So,
yeah, and once again, we just appreciate you guys, and we will be back once again next Monday for another episode. Not sure what it'll be on yet. We'll figure that out, but I am on my way down to Florida this weekend. So when you guys are listening to this, I'm in Florida, and I'll be on my way back. But I'm going down for GTR World Cup, so I'll fill you guys in on how that went next week. I'm going to be playing around with a bunch of really, really fast cars. It's not my usual thing, but I'm not going to complain. So it should be fun, and I'll let you guys know how that is next week. But
y'all be safe out there.
Yeah,
COVID sucks ass.
I was gonna say we should do shout outs, but I literally cannot fathom in my brain to find a shout out right now.
Liam's head's gonna explode if we don't.
Yeah,
if we don't hop off here,
my head's killing me. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.
Love you. Bye.